So there were two other kind of personal responses. This one I haven't read, but it's from Paisley. So Paisley lives in mid-Missouri in a town of hardly 11,000 people. My high school consists of maybe 800 kids, and I'm gay. There is one other girl who is out of the closet, but we don't get along. Surprise, not all gay people like each other. That is such a funny image. I'm sorry. Like, it sounds totally tragic, but just being like, oh, yeah, another gay. I don't like your attitude. We are actually the only two kids in the whole entire school who are openly gay. I'm sure there are more, but it's a scary thing to do, especially when you live in Mexico, Missouri. There's a place called Mexico, Missouri.
I would have thought Missouri wouldn't have allowed that.
Me too. No, I'm sorry. It's called Go Home Mexicans, Missouri. That makes sense. I just want to say thank you for so fearlessly supporting the LGBTQ community. It means a lot. It's people like you guys who make me feel like I'm not completely alone out here. I have friends, of course, and I'm generally well liked, but there's still an immense amount of homophobia and gay bashing in my school. Is it wrong that I'm a little mad that the gay person in Mexico, Missouri is probably more liked than I was in high school?
I was just thinking, man, like, it's crazy. We get a lot of people, young people writing in now who are like, I'm openly gay in high school, and like there's one or two other openly gay kids in my high school. Dude, when you were in high school, we had one kid.
We technically had two, but they were twins, so we had one.
Oh, right. You were saying that. Yeah. But I most high schools when Jamie and I were in high school, there were gay people, of course, but they were not out.
I remember when we were in high school, the gay twins were the ones who would churn butter outside. Because I'm old now. All right. So here's the rest of the email. So I'm generally well liked, but there's an immense amount of homophobia and gay bashing in my school. I mean, I can't walk down the hallway without hearing that's gay or faggot at least twice in a passing period, which is 4 minutes long. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. The podcast about Glee and Robin Hood guy was great. I just wish more people could understand the whole gay thing. So many misconceptions, and I feel like you guys are really good about telling people to shut the fuck up and learn. So again, thanks so much, Paisley. That was a really sweet, funny email.
That's awesome, and it's totally brave of you that you're out and like just ignore fucking stupid mean people. Like, I remember when I was in high school seems like the end of the universe.
I know.
And like it's gonna go on forever and that's your whole life. But please believe me, when you are older, high school seems like such a stupid short time of your life. And as soon as you get out of high school, you basically get to do like whatever the fuck you want, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And you meet a bunch of like really cool people who don't use the F word in casual conversation.
Well, and I feel like people who, the sort of nerds in high school are the ones who are kind of intellectually superior, right? And I feel like, now that Allison and I are older and all of our friends that we hang out with, do you remember when we saw the movie, we saw Chronicle with my mom?
Yes, I do. You mean the greatest film ever?
It was so awesome. And there were a bunch of teenagers around us, and just hearing the way they talked, I was just like, fuck, man, that's right. They are some of the most uninteresting, scared, boring, redundant motherfuckers. Like, there was a preview for that piece of shit film Project X, and every dude in there was like, oh, shit, man, that's going to be like my party. It's like, no, it's not. You're going to go home and jerk off to fucking porn in your mom's basement because you're sad and you're a waste. My point being is when people say that's gay, or when they're just saying, a faggot for no reason, a lot of times it just comes from the fact that they are insecure, they're uncreative, and that's all they got is just to speak in these sort of hateful platitudes, these hateful cliches. And, a lot of times it's not even meant to be homophobic. It's just these people are just a fucking, they're a brain cell short of renting Tower Heist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I brought that up is just hang in there. And I know it's hard because when you're in it, you're like, yeah, that's easy for you to say. But like, honestly.
Paisley sounds like
she's, yeah.
Great. Yeah. So anyway, I want to read Big Gay Allen's, and then let's get to more Occupy stuff. So Big Gay Allen commented like he was supposed to at wearecitizenradio.com. He goes, firstly, I haven't watched Glee in months, so thanks for ruining everything.
You're welcome, Alan.
But to the point, while I understand queer people who grew up in a healthy environment might be annoyed, they're not the ones who are trying to convince not to kill themselves. Keep in mind that some of your favorite and apparently most well-adjusted gay friends weren't always so. In Tim Gunn's It Gets Better video, he explains that he had attempted suicide. And we all know how well Tim Gunn is doing right now.
Tim Gunn is fabulous, in case you don't know.
If it were not for the fact that I have a mother who loves me unconditionally and I knew it would destroy her, I'm almost certain I would have tried to kill myself in middle school. And I wasn't even harassed as gay. I was harassed as a quiet kid, but because I was so tormented deep in my psyche over who I was in a straight, assuming and anti-gay culture, I did not have the strength to shake it off. I have never been more sad in my life than reading that about Big Gay Allen. This is why it is critical for straight allies to not just passively be okay with queer people. You have to say out loud that it is not wrong to be different. It is right to be who you are, and that the world telling you otherwise is bullshit. People you are not aware of who are not yet aware of themselves or are tormented about it need to know that someone is in their corner. I told Jamie that even years after fully accepting myself and being surrounded by non-bigoted people, encountering an unapologetic straight advocate like him, that's me, that's not like, oh, gay people are cool just as long as you don't look at my junk, man, was so powerful to me because that kind of advocacy is still so uncommon. You may not even know about it, but if you become that kind of ally, you will save someone's life.
Totally. And also, like, I just want to add, if you're having a hard time in high school, that there's like a direct correlation between sucky high school experiences and how interesting you ultimately become as a person.
Wild success.
So if you're in high school right now and you're like, woo, it's awesome, enjoy it because it's all downhill after that.
Well, you remember that scene in Freaks and Geeks?
That's such an awesome
where
scene.
the
in the AV club?
AV teacher like maps out a jock's life.
Yeah, and he's basically like, the jocks picking on you, this is the height of their existence.
That's their peak.
After they graduate, it's, oop, I didn't get onto a good football team. Oop,
what?
I got injured
blew
in
out
public.
my knee.
Oop,
Yeah.
I have to go work at the car dealership. And for geeks and, for, nerdy people and outcasts, after high school, it's like you spent that whole time becoming an interesting person. You were reading, you were learning about stuff, you were struggling, which all good artists do. So after graduation, it's like, well, I'm going to start living my actual life now.
Right. And you spent all that time alone reading and being educated and, listening to like political podcasts. And, whereas those guys, when they get out, they're like, well, I know how to try to convince a girl to not make me wear a rubber. It's like, all right.
Well, good luck with all that.
Have fun, hopefully at the abortion clinic. Hopefully. We can all cross our fingers.
Fingers crossed.